You mentioned the three main characters and the neurosis that you wrote before you then turned them into supernaturals. So now that we brought Nina aboard, what is her neurosis?
Ooh.
This is a good one.
Toby, what's my neurosis?
She's the fourth member of ABBA. We're not. She's completed it. Now we're going to take a tribute show round. We're selling tickets afterwards. There's dates outside, so please come. Knowing me, knowing you. Toby's doing a Beyonce tribute as well, so if you want to catch that, it's hot.
I don't know if her question.
You can answer that. You was about to answer it.
No, I'd say that I don't think Nina's choice of men is particularly good, but in as much as the first one gave her scars and the second one gave her to a werewolf. So I don't know. I haven't really thought about that. Let me have a think about it, and then at next year's Comic-Con, I'll ask the same question.
Okay, my question's kind of obscure, and if you haven't watched the show, you won't get it. The third episode, there's a house meeting, and Russell, this question is mostly for you. Your character talks about you went paintballing, and you're never going to do it again.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you came up yourself with why exactly George didn't ever want to go paintballing ever again.
I think he was bullied by all his paintballing friends, and they just sort of cornered him and pummeled him with paint. And then left him. They stripped him first, then pummeled him. That was my way to it, yeah. And everything, I mean everything got pummeled seriously. The pain was immense. I mean, worse than the transformation.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also, we wouldn't download illegally if you didn't wait 7 months to air the episode.
And yeah, you would.
Hi, so my question is aimed at all you actors, you lovely, talented folks. I noticed that throughout the entire series there's this sort of duality that always happens. I mean, obviously, like, the theme is about being human, but there's the werewolf and the human, the vampire and the human. There's a lot of twos. But that keeps things very simple for you guys to sort of be inspired by. So how does that simple, like, it's a very simple instruction to play a vampire who wants to be a human. Like, how do you build off of that for all of you?
The scripts. The
Yeah.
scripts. That's the word for us. The
We don't have to
research.
do much. We just have to just fulfill what's on the page. Really, it's all there. I mean, the creative guy's at the end. He's the guy with all the ideas.
See, the characters and being human seem to change, which is really nice. As an actor, that's something you can run with. I don't think any of our characters are the same as when you first met them.
No.
Like, certainly not by season 3. It's like you've gone on a journey. You're different. I mean, in essence, you're obviously the same person, but you know, as in real life, you grow and change and develop, relationships change and develop and shift and whatnot. And Toby writes characters that are changing. So I suppose you take it and run with it.
Yeah, well, it just naturally evolves. It does it itself. You know, it's easy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
I just want to congratulate you on making such a deep and meaningful show. I find myself relating to it, and it's a supernatural show, which is confusing. So I think it's amazing. And Lenora, you're even more beautiful in person, maybe because you're not dead in real life. My question is actually about Annie. I'm total nerd, so I like the supernatural part of the show, and I'm wondering. I know it's about deeper human issues, but are you guys going to go more into Annie's afterlife? I was really intrigued by what was on the other side of the door.
Oh, you're not the only one, seems to be. Yeah, season 2, definitely. Annie would like to think that when she turned down death, because Herrick banged on the door and all that, interrupted, I think she would like to think that's it, and that's over, because even though she knew it was her door and it was quite serene and she's ready to go through, she's got something to stay for now in the house and the boys and everything. So I think secretly she's really quite chuffed that she missed that bus. But she doesn't know what it means, and I think she'd love to just mean it's over now, but season 2 says otherwise. You don't just not get on that bus. That bus is being driven by death, and death and taxes are inevitable. So I think it chases her down in season 2 and really does terrify her because she doesn't know what's beyond the door. I think she has a couple of ideas, but then she fills in the blanks and it's not good in her head and she doesn't want to go. And it gets scarier and scarier and scarier. And so it's definitely something is explored in season 2. For those of you that see it, it catches up with her. You can't just walk away from the door.
That's really cool. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Hi. Was the audition process for camp, did that involve having all the actors read from the Bible and counting how many people had fled in terror by the end?
For camp, what happened with, I just knew of Donald Trump. I kind of wrote that part for the actor. I hadn't met him, but I kind of knew his work from TV and theatre, and I just thought, he looks really creepy. And so we put him in that little bit at the end of season 1, and it was just a kind of a try. We didn't get him to read because there are certain levels of actors that you just don't get to read. You make an offer, and we kind of got we got him in for that last bit, and he just nailed it. But at that stage, I didn't really know what the character was, and so I think I was kind of led by him and just the kind of the weird sort of neatness of his performance. And so then, having got him in place, then writing the second series for him was very easy with him in mind. But I mean, in real life, he's an absolute delight. But yeah, he's really creepy.
But he's a lovely man.
Very
He's a
lovely
Yeah, we are all a little bit scared of him.
My real question actually was for Toby and Aidan. One thing I didn't really like in season 2 was kind of what now?
What's that? You talking? So somebody cut your mic off there.
I was Mitchell kind of using the women in his life as kind of an emotional crutch, almost in a creepy, emotional blackmail kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like. So how much of that was intentional? How much of it is because Mitchell's 100 years old? How much of it?
I think Mitchell uses a lot of people as a crutch. He needs this form and stability at this point in time. He can't trust himself. And he's had these problems for so long and these issues, but he's rattled all the time. I think he goes through his ebbs and flows all the time. He feels alright, like any addict, and he's dealing with it, and then suddenly something happens in his life and everything is turned around again. And I think unknowingly he probably does rest on some people and sort of take advantage a little bit. But I don't know, I think everyone does that in times of need and stuff, and it's not always a negative thing. And that's when you have brilliant friends around. They kind of sort you out, and so I don't know. I don't see it as a bad thing,
I think, to be fair, as I said, the intention is to do as realistic a show as possible, and men are rubbish.
Yeah, I wanted to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that part of it, I think is really great because that's a theme that runs through all of this vampire lit, because there's always the poor vampire and then the woman who's going to save him. And in this one, at least, it's a little more naked. That it's not an equitable relationship. Good question.
Okay, so my question's for Toby. So you talk a lot about in the series the importance that the supernatural people place themselves in different parts of society. So how did you choose to have all the characters, pretty much all the characters, except Annie, you can't leave, work in the hospital? I mean, besides the blood issue, but I mean, I thought it was really interesting that you put them all together and.
No. That was because we thought, okay, if these creatures really existed, what would their lives be like? And it struck me that they would be wanting to live under the radar. They would want to be as anonymous as possible, and so they have deliberately taken these kind of ancillary jobs because they're very low profile. It's very easy when you live on the fringe of society just to disappear. And if they become head of ICI or something, then that would expose them too much. and they would put their secrets at risk. And so it was a very logical decision that if you want to hide, you're going to hide, somewhere, doing, rather kind of low-level jobs, something like that. That's the best place. That's the best place to be anonymous, really. And also, the thing about hospitals is that it is it's where life and death mix on a very, obviously on a daily basis. And I think, so I think for the show that's a very kind of evocative mix.
I'm studying to be an actress, and I was wondering, I just wanted to say that I really admire all the actors who work on the show. Like, I really look up to you guys as actors. You guys are my role models.
Thank you.
And I was wondering, what was the most emotionally challenging scene you had to work on in the show?
Well, I'll jump on it. I think that scene that you saw in that clip was, that was, well, for me anyway, was the most emotionally difficult. And there's a scene in the second episode where I leave at the door with you.
Yes.
That was a bit. And yeah, but then when she gets back, she gets a bit, she gets her mojo back. She's a bit kick-ass in the end, but at the beginning, thank you, they were my emotional bits.
I don't know, there's loads. There's that scene which reminded me with myself and George, Mitchell and George, at the end of episode 8 of the second series, in the corridor, when Mitchell is just completely losing his mind, and he has camp, and everything, his whole world is just falling around him, and they've lost Annie, and he feels like he's back on the wagon again, and everything is just falling around him, and then George kind of brings him back, and that was pretty full on, I remember. But there's so many. I mean, that's the great thing about this show, and it's brilliant for an actor to be in a show like this, because there's just so much scope. You get a chance to play everything at almost in every context. It's like the best drama school in the world.
But also we get on. I mean, there's a lot of emotional moments we have to kind of achieve, and I think we get on so well as actors that you kind of get to a point, because we've been together so long, that when you do have to cry, the other actor has the ability to give you whatever you need to feel that emotion, and that's kind of what's a blessing with this, really, is that, I have to cry a hell of a lot more than it seems anyone else I've ever seen. I'm crying or naked, and I've done crying and naked yet. Anyway, yeah, I keep talking about nudity, I'm going to stop now. But that's what we kind of is brilliant in this show, that we really can give that to each other, and that's great.
Yeah, I think we make it kind of real for each other as well. I know that, I think one of the most emotional scenes I've done, Annie's very emotional as well, like George.
It doesn't get naked.
I don't get naked enough.
At all, would have been enough.
Well, okay. I had to shoot a scene, and you'll see it in season 2, where Annie leaves a message for the boys, and it's all actually voiceover, but we shot it anyway. I did the action of recording this voicemail for the boys on the tape recorder, and I was in pieces because it's towards the end of the shoot, and because we don't know what happens from year to year, and I just thought, God, I didn't come back. This wasn't it. I cry much more elegantly than that, but it really did. Just the actual thought of finishing the job, or the thought of not coming to work with these guys again, is like bringing us to tears.
What was that?
Don't leave us, okay?
Levi's?
Don't leave us.
Levi's. Good advice, thank you. You're going to put it away? Don't know why you ain't out.
Into the Levi's.
Enjoy yourself, mate.